Hi, I'm Meadow Perry, and today I'm going to talk to you about safety with person inside a bubble. Okay, so person inside a bubble, kid in bubble, whatever you call it, KIB, there's acronyms out there to describe the hoop effect where you stand a person in the middle, usually a child, and you bring the hoop up and you've encased them inside a tubular bubble. So a lot of people make a homemade version of this, which is perfectly fine. There are commercial versions available, and I'm going to put them in the notes of this video. You can get them from Mondo Troll, Dr. Ziggs, Darina Show, and from Alexander Cross, the Bubble Boss. There may be one that I'm forgetting, and I will add it into the video notes if I figure that out. But so if you're making a homemade version, there's a lot of people who use a kiddie pool with a stool in the middle and a hula hoop. That's perfectly fine, but you need to take some extra measures to make sure that it's safe, because baby pools, once you introduce not only water but soap, become very slippery because they're a plastic surface, and the same thing about your plastic stools. So what sorts of things can you do to make them safer? Well, you can use some treads. There are sticky treads that you can use for like a bathtub, or you can find them that are for like risers to give them like a roughness. There's treads that are like a sandpaper. You can place those in there and on your stool, and at the feet of your stool. You want some grippers on there so that it doesn't slide around when they go to stand on it. And of course, always helping your participant, grabbing them by the hand, guiding them to step up, telling them to watch their step. Those are all really important things, whether you're using a homemade version of Kid and Bubble or you're using a professionally made moat version of it. Now, something that I wanted to talk about with this, because I came across it on Instagram, do not use a tarp version of this. I saw somebody used a baby pool with a tarp inside of it, and then a sled in the middle for the person to stand on, and I'm shaking my head. That is so dangerous. Not only the entire area surrounding it is a tarp, and so if there's soap getting on there, that's a very slippery surface. I mean, literally that's what slip and slides are made out of. So that's a very slippery surface. And then having a sled that doesn't have weight points on it, it's a concaved, curved surface. Someone goes to stand on that can slip right out from underneath them. It's just not safe. So please, 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 please do not do that version, because it opens you up to all sorts of liabilities. Now, speaking of liabilities, you want to make sure that you have performer's insurance. This is a very important topic, and you may already have performer's insurance as a magician or a balloon artist or face painter or whatever entertainment area you might already be in. However, check in with your performance insurance company, because not all of them cover bubble artists yet, or bubble magicians, or bubbleologists, whatever you want to call it. Some of them are not covering them yet. The only one that I do know for sure that I'm using that does cover it is Specialty Insurance Agency. I spoke to an agent there, and they do specifically cover bubble artists, and including the poles that are the tri-string wands. So you just want to check in with your agency and make sure that you're covered, because the last thing that you want is for an audience participant to slip and fall during your performance and break a bone or something and want to sue you or hold you liable. And the same goes for if you're doing tri-string wands and say you drop a pole and knock somebody in the head. You want to make sure that you're covered and you're not going to have a big libel lawsuit on your hands. So big pro tip. But of course, what you want to be doing is making sure that you have safety measures in place at all times for anytime you have a participant coming up on your stage or in your performance space. Bubbles get very slippery. And we're used to working with bubbles, of course, and we usually wear treaded shoes, and if you're not, you should be. But you want to always be careful, especially if it's summertime and you're outdoors. Say you're doing person in bubble on grass. Be very aware that, you know, after 10 kids, that grass right around the person in bubble is going to get slippery. So you need to make sure that someone who's coming up with dress shoes or sandals or flip-flops, they're not going to have traction on their shoes, and you really, really should be taking them by the hand and helping guide them. So in the instance that they might slip, you can help catch them. So that's a tip there. And yeah, I am going to jump off my soapbox now, but get it, soapbox? Okay. But so it was just something I came across on Instagram, and I wanted to speak on it and get it out to you all. Just be very careful with your props and your shows and any participants that you have coming up on your stage. I hope that this helped open your eyes about safety in your show and where the weak points might be, where you are potentially opening yourself up for slip, trips, and falls for not only yourself but participants and other performers, and that you can take measures to create a safer performance space. That's all I have for today. Thank you. Keep on bubbling, and we'll see you soon.